Okay, so here is part 2 of Roxie's haircut. Now, whenever I cut her hair, I will give her most of the time 1 to 2 and maybe even 3 breaks. And because it helps me and it helps her because she gets tired standing up. So, if I've got all day, I plan for it to be all day. And I'll cut for a while. Now, this cut I thought took 3 hours, but it took 2 hours. And the reason I know that is because when I was editing the video, I edited out quite a bit of the over and over and over of going over her hair. That's how you get it to look smooth. You brush up on it and then go down with the clippers. And that is something on the going down with the clippers or going back with the clippers that you'll just have to practice yourself. I don't go against the hair grain anymore because it gets super short, and Pet Dad doesn't like that. So anyway, just watch while I cut on the hair. And I thought this morning I would finish out part 2 with saying, yesterday I talked about how if anybody gets a dog, the commitment to the dog, I hope, is it's lifelong commitment, and it doesn't have to switch around, and everybody's on board with taking care of them and all that. You can go back and see that. But today I want to tell you, if you have chosen and have decided to get a dog, a doodle or whatever kind of dog, I've had dogs my whole life, and I can't live without them. I mean, it's not that I'm not a cat person, but that's another decision that I have made because I don't want to, for one thing, Pet Dad doesn't want a cat. We had them before. He doesn't want them because they're snooty, I guess. But anyway, I don't like to mix the dogs and cats up in the house because I have a friend that her cat scratched her dog in the eye and tore its, whatever that is called that's over their eyeball. It looks like a clear piece of cellophane. I don't know if that's the retina. I don't know what that is. But that dog had eye damage for its whole life because it got scratched in the eye. And I believe the dog was there first. I can't remember. But it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's just not a good combination. In my house anyway. Whatever you do is you. But I just wanted to say how precious my dogs are to me. They're a lot of company to me. And yeah, they're a lot of work. But, my kids grew up and they've gone on with their lives. And I still have a lot of love and a lot of hugs. And, a lot of a maternal need to take care of something. So, I just put that energy into my dogs, and I love my dogs. I truly love them. I mean, they one time when my mom passed away, for example, I had my boxers then. I had 3 boxers, and I've had 3 sets of dogs in my life. I've had the boxers all their life. I've had the English bulldogs all their life, and now I've got Goldendoodles. But anyway, I was sitting in my chair, obviously, very, very broken because I just lost my mom. And my boxers came in there and they started licking my face so hard and fast and climbing up the front of me that I almost couldn't breathe. I mean, they know they're such companions to you. And then when you're real happy, they're real happy. And, you can't go to the bathroom without 3 Goldendoodles named Roxie, Paris, and Bougie coming in there to see what you're up to and cramming into all your space, and you don't even have hardly room to get up, maybe too much information. But, I mean, if you ask them anything, do you want to go bye-bye, or do you want to go outside, or do you want a toy, or whatever, they're just all in. I mean, they're so excited that you've got company, or you've got something you want to ask them if they want to do. They're always happy to do it. And I tell you, they are a lot of work. One of the ladies at my church, or at my work, said to me one day, I told her, I said, yeah, that's how I broke my leg that time, was my dogs. And she said, we work for them, don't we? And I thought, you know what? She's right. It's like you have a job working for your dogs. but it's good. I mean, it's not, for me, I love it. And I do get tired, I do. I want to sleep late sometimes, and they don't want to let me, but I work that out. I get up and let them out, even as puppies, and I've got gates in maybe a little less than half the house, and they can run in that part of the house while I sleep a little more if I want to, but anyway, there's so much that they are just so much company for. I mean, you ask Roxie if she wants to go somewhere. She's got her little pillow in the back of my SUV, and I've got a protector that goes through the whole back of it, and she sits up on that pillow like a queen. Or she can lay down and put her head on it. It don't matter to her. But she likes to look around and look outside, and she minds good, and she walks on the leash really well. And, when we go into Rural King, though, she tries to jump up and down and get excited in there. Sometimes I have to calm her down a little bit, put her in the shopping cart if she's not going to behave. But she mostly does. She just is excited to see the people. And the girls, Paris and Boo, they still can't go anywhere yet because they get car sick within 5 minutes. And but we've got nausea medicine from the vet, the strongest they can take. And it's still, Bougie drools a lot with it, but, I'm doing short rides, and I'm trying to get it to where they can all go, because they would love that, just to go out all together with the family. But they do get to go to the bank and post office and the vet's office, stuff like that uptown. But I just want to say, if you've not experienced a dog, I don't want to in any way talk you into getting one if you don't know that you do. But if you don't know, watch some of these people. There's a guy I watch that's got a doodle, and I can't think of his name right now for nothing. I'm bad about remembering names, but he's got a doodle that's got real long hair, and he rides on the motorcycle with it and takes it everywhere. And I mean, he'll bring tears to your eyes how this dog rides in a backpack on his back, and people just love the dog. I watch the dog that channel all the time, but I can't think of it. And I think that guy's videos are me. This is absolutely, his actions are what I feel in my heart toward my dogs. I wish I could think of that guy's name. Anyway, just, you have to know, because he's got millions of followers, and he's just a guy, that's on YouTube, and I've seen him on Instagram too. But my dogs, I tell you, when I was a little girl, my parents got divorced when I was very young, and my dad brought me home a cat. And that was right before they separated. And that cat got me through that. I don't know. I was so young. I don't know how I knew that he would, but he did. And I talked to my cat, and I'd put clothes on it and sing to it. And I know it wanted to run away from home probably. But that's when I got my propensity to animals, I guess. And my dad was that way. He just loved his dogs. He had a little beagle dog named Sophie, and he had her whole life too, but I talked to my animals, and I dressed them up, and I'd sing to them, and they was my cat was my companion. And then when we moved to town, then my cat got killed on the highway, because we had always lived way out in the country, and he didn't have any idea what what town was and all that. But that was my first animal. And of course I got another one, and my mom was always yelling at me because I didn't take care of it and get it outside and all this stuff. That's normal too. But I can't blame her for feeling like she did. But I really have always had animals, and I had cats then. Growing up, I had cats because they were a lot easier for everybody to take care of. My brother had dogs. But I've never really been without an animal. I cannot do without them. They are so good. I mean, look at Roxie standing here getting her hair cut. She's hours into this thing, just standing there and looking at me and being good. I took her to the groomer one time when my leg was broken, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why she came home not wanting to let anybody come near her with a pair of clippers or a hairbrush when she'd been brushed every day her whole life. I mean, look at her. And just this time is when she 100% did not turn her head away from me and jerk her head away from me and not let me do her face. She did it this time. Last time she kind of did it. She's been groomed a bunch since that was around February or March. And she has fought me ever since she went there. That's why I don't take her to the groomer. I'm not too cheap to pay the groomer. The ones we take the girls to, up there at Casey's, they are awesome with the girls. They're not even expensive, in my opinion. They are really not expensive at all. I mean, not compared to what some of them are, but you know, that is a lot of work, and it's worth it. That groomer gets the tip she deserves and everything, because that is a lot of work. And you know, I'm not a spring chicken, but I take every bit of my strength I've got, and I get up every day just like I did for my kids, and I do what these dogs need done. I wash their dishes before I go to bed, and stand them up to let them dry, and they eat out of clean dishes and clean water dishes, and they get ice water out when they're outside, and you know, they get a lot of love. I just went in there a while ago, and here all three of them were right beside of me watching me fix their breakfast, and I was just hugging on those little fat necks and that thick hair on their neck, just loving on them. You know, they don't even make me. Animals can make me itch if I'm very allergic to fleas and things if they're not clean. And my dogs are clean, but they just don't bother my allergies. Now, when I mow, I have to mow twice a week, and when I mow 2.5 acres, yeah, I've always got allergies going on, even if I wear a mask. But these dogs don't bother my allergies. Now, my bulldogs, they would shed so much hair. I have 2 Roombas, and I had to have Roombas. I bought several of them because I would actually burn them up. But I would run them a couple times a day each to keep all the dog hair up. But that's how I work. If I get an animal, I just make sure I got what it needs. I'm not saying go overboard. I know people don't have money. I don't have money. But, you know, if I need to brush it every day, if I need to give it quality food, if I need to feed it, just feed it the best thing you can feed it. One of my friends cooks for her dog. She's got a little tiny Yorkie, and she cooks for that dog. And that, I want to do that, but man, I can't imagine how much chicken and organ meat and vegetables it would take for these 3, you know, 2 of them almost, I'd say, go pushing 80 pounds, and the other one is 60, which would be Roxanne. One's getting her hair cut. She goes between 55 and 60, because the vet's always staying on me, make sure I don't let her get too fat. But since we got the puppies, she runs around with them so much, her weight's not even an issue. She just goes with them and plays with them and everything. You know, keeps them separated when they get a little bit too rough playing with each other. She'll go over there and stare at them, you know, and make them mind, which that's the way dogs do. Dogs have a pack order. It's a natural thing with them. I mean, in my observation, there I am brushing her tail out, and I'm going to shake it out. See, you go down the tip of that tail, feel that for that tailbone end of it, and keep your hands clamped on that if you're going to cut your dog's tail. Be sure you're not cutting. Roxie, she's bumping my arm. Be sure you're not getting that tail. Get away from that bone. Now, that lady that taught me said 1 inch, but I go out farther. And then I'd shake the tail out like that and make it go in the shape a tail goes in. And then I just, you know, there's some that's got like split ends looking hair that's a little thinner than the other. And I'll just shake that tail hair out and go down through there like that. Go down through there and just cut all them little thin, sprangly hairs off. And, you know, just get her tail hair looking more healthy. Some people keep their doodles' tails short, but I like to have tails. I happen to think one night, one of them figured out her door wasn't shut. I'm bad about not clamping their door shut on their 2 cages and playpen. And I saw these 3 tails come bouncing in here beside my bed. It scared me because I could see was the tails. And I was like, what is that? And they had just decided to come in and see Mom. They found out their door was open. They don't even try to open their doors when they're in their crates or anything. But when I put them to bed at night, I play their music, their puppy music off of YouTube. It's called anxiety music. There's all kinds of videos of that on there, and I don't play it for anxiety. I play it so that they won't have so much noise, hear so much noise outside, you know, where they won't get startled by noise. And, but anyway, I can see my timer is getting fairly close to the end. there I am cutting the hair on the inside of her legs. The legs are still a challenge for me. If I don't shave them off with the clippers, if I try scissoring them, they're not smooth really. I mean, they are, but there's sprigs of hair when she walks around that stick out more, and I just have to keep working at it. But I think I do pretty good for not knowing how to groom dogs. I was just going to say, if you're going to look for a puppy and you decided that you really want a puppy, just get everybody on board with it. Look at that animal like it's your family member when you get it home. No, it's going to mess up. It's going to chew stuff up. If it does start to, give it stuff that belongs to it. I've got all that in old videos, but it's just my experiences. You know, give it a shoe it can have to chew on and say, take away your stuff and say no, and then say, this is yours. And then get bones and put peanut butter on them, or milk bones, and spread just enough peanut butter on the milk bone dog biscuit to where they can smell the peanut butter, and they'll chew on that because their teeth, they have to cut their teeth. That's a natural thing. Once their teeth are in, they don't really care about chewing on anything like they do when they're puppies. Once my dogs are through the chewing stage, that's when I let them go ahead and stay out. I don't put them in a crate unless I go to town or something, because they can sure get into a lot of mischief when you got more than one. They'll get in there and say, oh, here's a plant, here's a, you know, whatever. Paris is going through the stage right now, chewing on my fake greenery on everything I've got, but that's okay, I can get more. And if she's getting into it, then it's my fault for not watching her closer. That's how also you have to look at that. They're like children. You can't blame the child for getting into things, and you can't blame the dog, because you're supposed to be watching them. That's what I tell myself. If there's a problem, it's my fault, and it works out better. You get out of your dog what you put into it. I hope everybody can even hear me talking. I tried to turn down the volume on the music, and I didn't seem to be able to figure that out for some reason. I always can, but it wouldn't let me this time. But anyway, I hope you guys have made a good decision, or are making a good decision about dogs. Not as if it's any of my business. I mean, this is America. You can buy a dog if it's a purebred, or you can get one from a shelter. It's up to you. I'm not a purebred hater, and I'm not a doodle hater. That I don't get. Why people are just like, oh, doodles. I love my doodles. They don't shed. They don't get dander all over. I mean, I cannot tell. They don't have a smell. So, I don't know. I love my doodles. I loved my bulldogs, and they definitely had a smell of yeast because they have yeasty issues from allergies. And my boxers just smelled like a dog smells sometimes. But you know what? I loved it. Every last one of them. I took care of them all their life. I put them away when they passed away in the very best way I could. All of them I cremated except for Ton. He passed away at home. And I wouldn't be able. And I had to bury him by myself because Pet Dad was at work. I'm trying to finish this video up. I see it's about to run out. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Your comments are awesome. I just love all the comments, all the likes, the shares. I get up every morning to see if I got new subscribers. It's so exciting. So I just want to thank you guys for taking your time just to watch our doodles. They're someday going to be moms of healthy puppies, pending their OFA testing at 1 year old. They're 9 months old now. Look at all that hair mess, and there's old Roxie hiding. She's tired. That's the end of my video. Thank you guys for watching again. Be blessed. Roxie says, thanks for watching.